Hey, welcome back and welcome front neighborinos. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Magic Square Swoop. Boy, this is a nice toy. It's really, really nice. I think it's actually their best Dinobot. Not necessarily in terms of aesthetics or engineering, but general release, manufacturing, and production. I think it's the best. The plastic feels nice and dense. There's no overspray. There's no weird plastic flash hanging off the bits. Tolerances are good. Heft good. Like everything about this release is nice. The caveat, however, is that I think they have some questionable design choices, namely this in the bot mode, and I will talk about them. There's a tons of pros and cons. I think there are more pros than there are cons. Like, one of the things that I really enjoy about the bot mode is the way that the wings can compress. That's cool, man. That's flipping clean. I really, really enjoy that. The fact that you can do this or this, and it looks good in both modes, really, really well done on their part. And everything is very, very seamless. It looks like it popped right out of the cartoon. And I think that's the intent for the Magic Square figures. And for that purpose, they nailed it. They nailed it because, yeah, look at all of this stuff. Look at all of this stuff. Again, just really, really great job on this. And I'm feeling great about this review. But where does the toy suffer? Because it can't be perfect, right? And you'd be correct. And where it suffers is this thing. This thing right over here. Goodness, why did you do that? Why did you do that? It just looks like some type of like missile torpedo hanging off of his chest. I understand that it's supposed to be the bot mode, but in order to get this little ab crunch, they've sacrificed this. It's very hard for me to believe that this is Swoop's nose, the beak, and the beak separates over here so that he can do this. It feels very strange. It feels over-engineered. The real Dino beak is hidden inside here, and that's cool. It fills out the back piece and everything, and you can see that it's the same shape. But why couldn't you just make it? Why couldn't you just make it sit over the chest? That's a very, very strange design choice to me, and I would say that's probably one of my least favorite parts about this toy. But like I said, generally speaking, it's pretty good. And articulation-wise, as you can see, just kind of sprinkled throughout. I've tried to show you the various elements from the knees, the hips, the elbows, to the waist, to the head. Yeah, he's very, very well articulated. I mean, considering he is an aerial guy, they put in all the right pivots and hinges on the joints so that he can engage in some type of like aerial move. They made him very, very limber, and so I'm very appreciative of that. There are some other critiques that I have, and you're going to see them, especially with the legs when we get into the Dino mode. And so we're going to go through the transformation, and I'm going to show you some of those. But again, don't get it twisted. This is a very, very good toy, just with a few blemishes. All right, let's get him transformed. And actually, before we do that, let me show you how tall he is. He's pretty tall. He's like a, I don't know, I want to say he's like the size of a deluxe now, a modern deluxe. Here he is next to Voyager Tarn. Dude, speaking of Voyagers, I was going to say, yo, what's up with the price points from Hasbro, right? This guy is not cheap. He's like 65 bucks. But now the Hasbro stuff, the new Alpha Trion that they released, bro, that thing is $42.99. What are they thinking? What are they thinking? They're going to push a lot of collectors out, you know? Or people are going to start assessing third party. Because, dude, after tax, that thing's going to be like $47. You know what's $47? The Mecha Invasion guys. Each of those bots are about $47. Oh my gosh. Sorry, the AC just kicked on like crazy in my office. It's freezing right now. Oh, that's really cold. But sorry, neither here nor there. But yeah, dude, a Voyager is going to be $47 after tax. Bruh, come on. You can do better than that. But I think Hasbro's ultimate goal is to actually push the Voyagers until they're $50. That's just sad. And now a deluxe is $28 plus tax. That's going to take you to about $31. Bruh, what are you guys thinking? What are you guys thinking? I mean, I know what they're thinking. They're a public company, and they have to meet investors' expectations and stuff. And that's how they keep people interested and keep going. But it's like, bruh. Yeah, it's crazy, dude. I'm not collecting Hasbro stuff anymore. And I don't even know if I'm going to finish the Bruticus. Superion, I have 4 of 5 members. Devastator, I just completed. But Bruticus, I'm at 1 of 5. And I don't know, man. Bruticus is one of my favorite combiners, too. And I don't know, man. It just kind of makes me sad. I mean, corporate greed, capitalism, you call it whatever you want. But, you know, it is what it is. So you saw that the bird head was back over here. And he kind of looks like Sauron from Marvel, right? And so what you got to do is this part will all kind of separate, but I'm trying to remember exactly what you need to do. It's funny, I've transformed this a handful of times, and I did it all last night. Okay. And so my brain didn't quite remember what I did. So this has to go up. And I remember this entire section does kind of, what is it? Move upward, but get clearance so that you can spin this around. And then you can have this sit down there. And you'll notice that when you close this up right now, the head will be a little bit too far recessed. Or actually, I think that's how it's supposed to be. Might be like that. But I do remember this kind of shifting up. Whatever, dude. We'll see when we get there. But yeah, that goes kind of like that. And then for the chest bits, you are going to pull these out. And this, so on my copy, this area was extremely tight. And so I had to unscrew these bits in order for me to get this right. And now I'm forgetting how the belly worked. Because all this stuff... Give me a second. All right, I remembered. I had to jog my brain a little bit. So this centerpiece over here with the beak, you got to extend that up like that, right? Then keep that where you had it. And you'll know you got it right because when this covers this, that little bump will be hidden by that little slot over there. So... there you go, like that. And then when you're bringing the chest together, just make sure that the entire vest clears this section. And this one has to go down first because of the dovetail tabs. Then you can do that. And I think this shoulder thing remains open. Yeah, so that you can potentially bring the bird head down. But, dude, it still looks like it's kind of recessed. Huh. Whatever, dude. Let's just keep going, and if it's weird, then we'll adjust later. The arms, you basically close this up, and it will tab. You compress that up, and it will tab in there. And so that's cool, man. That's nice and secure. One of the areas that I don't like is, so the way that this is supposed to connect into the chest is, you see these two tabs, depending on which mode you're in, bot mode or alt mode, it will tab into that space here. But the problem is that it's not a super secure connection. It just kind of sits in there. And so that's what you're relying on to keep this entire back piece kind of anchored. And unfortunately, it doesn't do the best job. This is cool, the little tail and stuff, but yeah, it just doesn't do the best job. But nonetheless, that's kind of it. Now, so for the legs, all right, I'll show you. I mean, it's not over-engineered or anything like that. It's just, I'll show you. So you're going to bring the legs out, and then you're going to break that sculpt right there because you need to kind of separate at the hip like that. What you're also going to do, and we'll adjust all of this later because it has to be a very specific width for it to tab in over here. And you can see this thing kind of flopping around. And again, I'm just not a big fan of that. And I can feel my annoyance meter going up. This will also open up and this will come down, but I guess we could do that later. So here we're going to pull this out. I do like the fact that the little heel is hidden inside the knee. I think that's fun. But what you're going to do is you're going to open this up, and you're also going to open this up, and you can use the toe to kind of do that. Yeah. And then you're doing that solely for the purposes of bringing this piece out, and then the foot is going to just hide inside there. It's supposed to. There you go. And then you can close that back up. Now that's fun. That's easy and well implemented. And let me just get these out of the way. But there's a bit of an eyesore, and I'm going to get to show you that in just a second, Gretchen. Okay, so everything's closed up. Getting this in the right position. You're going to separate the back of the thigh from the front of the thigh so that you can free up the bird leg. And now you can swing this over, and that little tab that you see right there is going to fit into that slot. And it's a decent connection, but I wish it was tighter. I wish there was something else to it. Same thing for this side. Separate the sculpt, swing this back, and get this tab in here. But yeah, dude, the Hasbro price points. What's a Titan gonna cost? What's a leader class gonna cost? Like, what's a commander gonna cost? I don't know, man. The Hasbro stuff. I'm done. I'm done. I mean, I was already kind of done, but now I'm like officially done. And so that means I'm not going to collect their future like, I'm a big Defensor fan too, and Computron, and I'm sure they're going to redo all of them, Abominus, but like, I can't get behind the price point. I really, really can't. And so, yeah, like I said, I'm signaling my exit from the Hasbro game. So you open these, you bring these down, and you close them up. But what about you guys? Are you going to continue to buy Hasbro if you currently do? Let me know in the comments. So we're done. We're done. And let me just clear my head and then we can talk about it. All right, dude, look at that, man. So much presence about him. So good. Sculpt is done so well. Look at that dino face. It's so nice. But with all the nice things, there are some bad things as well. I'm not a big fan of this gaping hole over here. It's not horrific, and I get it, dude. So it's done so that you can bend the face down. I don't know, dude. Still, that's not the worst. The worst, in my opinion, is this bit. Really? Really? It's a $65 toy, bro, and you're just going to give me this empty cavity, this space? I'm not big on that at all. Yeah, I think it's really poorly done. I don't know how else they could have done it. Again, I'm not an engineer, but it just looks really unsightly, dude. It's a bit of an eyesore. And hey, that's his Ultimate. He's not a pterosaur. He's an eyesore. You're like, get your ass out of here, dude. Those stupid dad jokes. But yeah, he's an eyesore. Another thing that I don't like is that this section of the wings are supposed to keep this thing adhered to the body, and it's only supposed to be pivoting here, but oftentimes it wants to pivot off of here as well. And when this comes loose, the leg comes loose, and then everything comes loose. And so just not a fan of that. Not a fan of that at all, man. I almost wish that they just made this detach completely, and this would recess in here or something, dude. Just something. But that aside, I think this is a very, very nice figure, especially if you saw it from that angle and you don't see like this bit. It's pretty good. And in the instructions, they do a lot to try to hide this, to not show this because they know it's unsightly. But yeah, for everything else though, yeah, it tabs in decently and stuff. It's just this bit. But overall, man, it's a really nice figure, and using the stand, you can actually have this kind of just plugged in as well. And it holds them up just fine, and so that's cool. Physics wise, I think it would have been better had the post been on the bottom, but there's no real way for this to insert anywhere, so it has to kind of go on the back. I probably won't be posing them like that anyway, but yeah. But overall, I do recommend this, and if you're a Magic Square guy and you've been invested in their Dinobots and you're collecting this, highly recommend it. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. I think it's the best of all their Dinobots in terms of composition, manufacturing, QC, all of that. Design-wise, I also think it's pretty good too. Some of their other stuff, little bits here and there were convoluted. Still, some questionable things regarding the way they implemented like this, that weird torpedo missile thing and stuff like that, but not enough to be hateful for me to not endorse this. Yeah, I think it's a good pickup. $65, tfsafari.com. Use the codes in the top right corner of your screen, okay? Thanks for joining me, friends. I hope you're entertained, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.